2 boxes.
2 boxes.
Fudge kind.
Fudge kind and regular kind.
Mr. Marlowe, you're the nicest neighbor we ever had.
Gotta be the nicest neighbor. I'm a private eye. It's okay with me.
The Long Goodbye is an interesting movie. It is interesting in how the dialogue is written and performed, how none of the lines and deliveries seem to quite fit each other, but still flow regardless. It is interesting how much of the movie seems to go on looping side tangents, with many chunks of the movie backtracking on others and running in strange circles. It is interesting how phenomenally shot and blocked this entire film is, the smoothness with which cinematic ideas are combined, and how effortlessly the film uses long takes in the mundane moments to really accentuate them. But an interesting aspect of the movie that I haven't seen discussed much, if at all, is the music. Now, I'm not here to say the music has been completely overlooked. It gets mentioned in passing by everyone. But in most of the video essays and opinion articles I've read, it really only mentions how it adds to the atmosphere. But here's what I noticed in the first 10 minutes. So here's the main title theme.
There's a long goodbye, and it happens every day.
But here it is again.
There's a long goodbye.
And again. And also the doorbell is in. And also this pianist is singing it. And also it's playing in a supermarket. And even this funeral band is playing it.
Too bad.
Everything was in.
Every single track in this film is some form of the main theme in different styles and genres to fit the mood of the scene. You don't make a choice like this for no reason. So what is the purpose of repeating the same song for the entire film? The technical attribute comes from the major stylistic center of the film, repetition. Marlowe goes to Mexico 3 separate times. Every time Marlowe gets home, he talks to the girls next door for some reason or another. Marlowe says it's okay with me about 100 times, so it fits with these other choices to have the song repeat over and over. But there is a more interesting thematic side to this. The titular Long Goodbye represents many things. Within the song, this long goodbye is the small interactions that happen day to day that could lead somewhere else but never do. The kinds of short conversations and moments that Marlowe avoids. It also represents failing marriages and relationships as depicted by the Wades and more briefly by Marty and Joanne. But I believe if we have to narrow this down to a single idea, then the Long Goodbye represents death, specifically the death of Terry Lennox. The first time we hear the main title theme is during the opening credits, the first scene where we meet Terry Lennox. And from here until the final shot, this song is the only piece in the soundtrack. From the moment Terry leaves, it haunts Marlowe. This goodbye, or lack thereof, causes Marlowe to hang on to this denial of Terry's death. His suppressed grief makes him view Terry in a better light than he probably deserved. And in every waking moment, he tries to say goodbye, hoping he doesn't need to anyway. And his quest, his drive to find Terry Lennox and clear his name, takes him to dark places. He's interrogated and jailed. His house is trashed by the mob. He's lied to over and over and over. Until finally...
How you doing, Terry?
Terry is alive and well, and his obsession with finding him wasn't unfounded. However, Terry stands before him, and Marlowe realizes he wasn't right about something else. Terrence Lennox isn't a good guy. He casually relays his crimes and deceptions, and how he used Marlowe to protect himself. And Marlowe, in his anger that Terry doesn't understand the pain he put him through. Anger that Terry could be so awful without remorse. Anger at himself for believing anything different. Asks himself what Terry really deserves. And so he says goodbye.
Yeah, I even lost my cat.
And finally, in this last shot,
Hooray for Hollywood. That's good, we ballyhoo.